No, it's the live stream.
The mic and the does it need charging?
Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Find or stand.
Hi. Hello. Welcome.
What do you say?
Congratulations for what?
Thank you, darling. I appreciate it. I made it. It's my little inner award winner. My little creation. Well, you know the book. Hold on.
Is this where we're gonna sit?
We're gonna sit here. The microphone. Oh, it's right there. That's fine. I thought we had it. If we don't have the piano, that's fine. Yeah. Whatever you do. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Ross, can you give me that little yeah. Thank you. Yes. It might need to be, I don't know, position. I'm trying to work it out. Hope it's working. Hi. Yeah, I packaged one for you. All right. Go back there, blow your crystals, and then blow it out to the
Yeah,
right.
Do you want? You know what you want on this page? You straight to another page. Yes. You have to write really strong. Say congratulations. See. What are you writing? Okay. Hello, congratulations. Congratulations, you got the small baby, because you know it's small space. Okay, go. Okay, go. C-O. Okay, it's fine. So, okay, so T. R. A. T. U. L.
No, mine don't go. Are here.
E. I know that. E-N-S. A-U-N. Right here. See, Christina. Just say C-R-S. Mm-hmm. Love Anthony. Two. I am good for two. All right. Where's the book? Your book is over here. Your book is over here.
here to discuss this wonderful book Christine has just authored and launched. Before we get started with introductions, I just wanted to take the opportunity to say I wear this hat because I am filled with gratitude for friends, family, and the gracious host that is Apothec for allowing us to do this. So thank you. A round of applause to you all. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so we have a treat for you today. I want to get us started by introducing the fabulous moderator, who is Sandy Colley. All right, so Sandy, she has a very, very rich background. She has a foundation in broadcast journalism and 20 years in the newsroom. Sandy describes herself first and foremost as a storyteller. She has a unique gift for taking complex narratives and translating them into simple, enticing content that resonates with any audience. Any audience. An Emmy Award winner, I'll say that again, an Emmy Award winner and the Associate Director of Marketing at the University of Richmond. Sandy's recent work at the university earned her a 2024 Telly Award for brand content. So that's big. Beyond her professional marketing and media career, she brings that same energy and vision to her role as an entrepreneur and owner of Turn Cardio Studio. We're thrilled to have such a seasoned craftsperson leading today's conversation. So thank you, Sandy.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Now the person of the hour, Miss Christina Owens.
40 minutes.
She is the reason we are all gathered here today. So we appreciate you and honor you for this big milestone in your life. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so about the author. I'm just gonna go through this top to bottom because I gotta get it right. Christina Owens is a seeker of life's many discoveries. With Oklahoma in her heart and Virginia beneath her feet, she carries both places as home. One grounding her beginnings, the other shaping her becoming. She lives a multi-passionate life with a 20-plus year career in education while earning credentials in real estate, group fitness, and coaching. For her, every experience is an opportunity to explore, reflect, and uncover meaningful insight. Amid these explorations, tea time has become a cherished practice, a moment to pause that invites curiosity, deepens reflection, and allows discoveries to steep in their own time. Whether journaling in solitude or sharing a cup with others, tea has become a natural part of her reflections and connections. Christina has spent years curating spaces for meaningful conversations, guiding individuals toward greater self-awareness and authenticity. She believes that discovery is a lifelong process, one best approached with openness, presence, and a willingness to step into the unknown. When she's not crafting new ways to inspire curiosity, Christina can be found sipping a warm or iced cup of tea, spending quality time with her partner, me, immersing herself in a good book, whether reading or listening or indulging in the many activities that bring her joy. Ladies and gentlemen, Christina Owens.
Thank you. Oops, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're calling everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Let's give it up for Christina one more time. And I want to say, how many people have never been to Apothec before? Raise your hands. It's first time here. Isn't it beautiful? Don't you love it? There's something about this shop that is so warm and welcoming and just gives you this like magic feel. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm friends with the owner, Trisha. Also met her through my fitness studio, and she was telling me earlier that so originally this space started with the other side, with the Apothic, where she made a lot of creams and oils and for face and body and perfumes, and they also did services like massage and facials, and it was just the one side, and that's 8 years old now. And this side that we're on is after acquiring Carytown Teas, she's opened this side and expanded, and this side is 3 years old or almost 3 years old. So now you get the best of both, right? You get to drink some tea, you get to get a massage, you get to buy a lotion. So I really encourage you to try to visit both sides and look around. And I know some of you got to make tea today, and I mean, it's just awesome. I think that this place is really cool. You can have parties here, you can do workshops here. And so thank you, Trisha, for letting us be here. And it's kind of interesting to me. I feel like all of these people I've known in different capacities, but you and I have known each other. We're talking about it. How long do you think it is?
Yeah, 13, 14 years.
13
I mean, 2012, 2013. Yeah.
Yeah.
On there.
And you know, we definitely have interacted in different ways. You came into my dance studio. We learned about each other's love for dance, but I had no idea you had a passion for writing, which, you know, that's my other love, right? So after writing so many stories in journalism, and so I was just thrilled to hear that you had written a book. So I feel like if you're a writer, or maybe not, there's a few of us in the room that probably have always thought, I would like to write a book, but it also scares the out of me. And so it feels very daunting, the idea of writing a book, but then you actually did it. So were you ever scared, or did you just say, I'm going in, I'm diving in?
Oh no, there was definitely, there was fear. There was definitely a level of fear, but I think since I was a little girl, I kind of told myself I wanted to write a book, and I would like write little children's stories, or when I was going through school and working toward my family life education degree. Of course, there were assignments, and there were some assignments where you had to write like little pieces of literature. But I always said I wanted to write a book. I knew I wanted to. I didn't know when that would happen. I didn't know how it would happen. I didn't know in what genre it would land. And at one point I thought, I'm never going to write a book. It's just not going to happen, because I just couldn't sit and focus and get into it. And when I would think I had an ideal and start, I would put it to the side, and it just wouldn't flourish. It wouldn't grow, and it would sit. And then I would move on to the next thing, kind of like my life. I pivot. I was constantly pivoting. And, and we'll maybe get into it a little bit, but dreams and prayer and setting intentions. I set intentions through prayer before I go to sleep. And a lot of times and it may not be that immediate night, but a lot of times I'm spoken to. And the clarity comes through there. And that's where this book came. So it was just one night. I was just like, I don't know what's next. I'm in a lull. I haven't done much creative activities. I'm feeling like I'm running out, like I don't know what I'm going to do next, or there's nothing fun. I'm just logging into work, logging out, doing my thing, but I didn't have anything that was motivating me and inspiring me. And this vision came, and the conversations came. And then after that, y'all, I was up 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, logging in before work, logging in after work, just, weekends, just piling it all in, and it was just pouring out. And that's how it came.
How long did it take you to go from the beginning to the end to actually coming out?
So overall, it was probably about a 3-year process. Wow. And there's a lot of research and everything that went into this as well. And then, like I said, there was some genre pivots, just how do I want to present this? What stories do I want to tell, share? How do I want to share them? But then once I got like that vision, 2 years. So the first year was me trying to strategically plan it out. I think I even drafted some stuff and sent to people like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And they're like, it's good. And I'm like, okay. And then I'll get moving, and then I'll be like, no. And then, like I said, once the vision came, it was like 2 years of just cranking it out, and probably a good year, 6 months to a year, like just as far as the writing goes, of getting the stories just flushed out. And then after that, it was all the organization, editing, and the back and forths and all that.
That's a really interesting point you brought up, because like I think if you're a writer or if you're creative or anything, you make a thing and you want people to see it, but then you're sort of bearing your soul. You know, you're sort of like, oh, now I'm letting you read this, and I always used to joke. I was like, there's a little bit of ego that goes into writing, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just that like I'm pouring my soul out here. So did you come with that? Like when you were letting people read your work, were you like, oh?
Oh yeah, there's that. There's, I'm sharing. I mean, it's built in, but there's family stories. There's stories of my upbringing. So it's not just about me. It's about others and in my circle. And so I'm like, okay, I don't, those that will know and will connect the story. I didn't want to, create something negative or something that would be like, or have them looking at me side eye, like, why'd you write that? Why'd you put that in there?
Why are you telling all
Why are you telling that? So, there was like hesitation, but I also had to go back and say, Christina, your story is your story,
right.
And what you experienced that's the way you lived it. And you can only share that in your words and in the way that you experienced it.
So I got an early copy of the book, and I was talking to Patrice and I was saying, because I read the book, and she said, "You read the book?" And I was like, "Yeah, I read the book." So for those of you that don't know, it's a series of short stories, and they're one of my questions was going to be, are they real people? Are they real stories?
Oh, they're real.
Are some of them fabricated? No, they're all real. So, okay. Did we change the names? So
oh gosh, yes, absolutely. No characters.
So protect the innocent, exactly. We're protecting the innocent. Okay. So,
yes.
So there's about, is it 32?
38 sips.
38 sips. So it's all a series of short stories told in a tea shop. Called the Authenticity Tea Shop, right? Or a cafe, right?
Yeah,
Authenticity Cafe. So I think of it as this, right? Like, so you think of all the people that are in this room. We all have different stories in our lives. We all have different things that we've gone through. And that's what this book is about. All the different people who've come into your life or that have touched you, and then their stories. And then, so you read the story and you go, I relate to that. And then when you get to the end of the story, there's a little bit of almost like an opportunity to journal or to reflect on the story and to maybe identify how it relates to you.
Uh-huh.
So for me, so now I'm like, whoa, this is a whole other thing now. So you have this really interesting story that relates to the tea shop, that relates to someone's life journey, and then you give me a moment to reflect in it. Was that always part of the plan of book writing?
I'm a reflector, and I always encourage others to reflect and to be curious. And so I could not produce a book that would not involve the reader in some experience of what I was writing. So yes, yes. To answer that question, like, yes, Christina could not put out anything else without pulling in the reader in some capacity to help them also grow from the conversation or consider how that might connect to their own story.
Well, some of the prompts are really helpful. And I mean, when I was reading it, I was like, yeah. And then I'd get to a prompt and I'd be like, yeah, how do I feel about that? And what do I think about it? In addition to having the journaling part, because it takes place in a tea shop, often that person is drinking a tea that goes along with their story. I think actually a button. And sorry if you're on the stream and it's probably flashed. But so you're drinking the tea in the story, and then you have a recipe for the tea in the book. So then my next question is, how much tea did you drink?
A lot. Yes, the bladder definitely went active during that, but it was a lot. I think even I would pull Dre in, of course, and be like, all right, this is what we're concocting today. Let's give it a try, and just pulling in different tea flavors and everything. Yes.
Well, you cover the gamut in the stories. So some of the stories are, I mean, I would say they start off pretty simple, and some of the stories are about like, just being curious in life, or just about approaching a new goal or a new challenge. And then some of them are really like deep. Mm-hmm. They're about faith, or they're about struggles with maybe perceptions about race or about gender perceptions. Some of them are about loss. Some of them are about like raising children or not having children. I mean, you just ran the gamut. Were there like stories that you were like, I have to get this off my heart?
Oh, I mean, is my life in a lot of ways, or is connected to me in some way. So what I did was, I thought about too, those conversations that continue to come up when I'm engaging with people, and what we connected with, or what I felt like, I'm repeating this story over and over again. And so it was those stories that had some type of pivotal impact on my life, or I viewed it and observed it, some others living it, and still was affected by it in some way. So yeah, I mean, that's how it just crosses, all that.
So there's 38 stories. I'm going to start on this first one. So this is Joy's story. She's SIP number 19. If you guys want to read with me, it's page 134. So like we're all in class together and we have a copy of the book. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but in addition to like getting into the story, she's got little napkins, and the napkins have a message in the story that the barista gives to the person who comes in and gets a drink. And they often have like this, like a fortune that goes with the tea. But this particular story is about writing.
Yes.
So this might be your story, maybe. So it says, some stories don't begin with bold declarations. They begin with silence, with waiting, with the quiet courage to return. Joy sat in a corner booth at the cafe, fingers wrapped around a ceramic cup, much like you guys. This cafe had been her quiet refuge for years, a place where she had come to wrestle with uncertainty, to stare at blank pages and eventually to fill them. She had first walked through these doors when she was caught between exhaustion and ambition, torn between the weight of her story and the fear of telling it. At the time, she hadn't known if she was ready to write, let alone share what had been held inside her for so long. But this place kept calling her back, nudging her forward. This wasn't her first visit. I'm going to skip ahead because this was the part that really resonated with me. She hesitated. Could she truly lay herself bare on the page? Would anyone care? Would she be seen? The first time she had asked herself those questions, she had left the cafe without writing a single word. The second time, she managed a sentence. Slowly, over weeks and months, she filled the pages, sometimes in a rush, other times in hesitant, half-finished thoughts. Some days she wanted to abandon it altogether. But she always came back. And then one day, after months of stops and starts, she arrived to find another note waiting for her beneath the cup. The words you are afraid to write are the ones that someone else is waiting to read. I was like, let me start the journaling right now. So do you want to talk about that? Is this you?
It is me, and it is another character or another individual that I've worked with through coaching.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of a blend of that.
Like a tea blend.
Kind of like a tea blend. And the person I coached, they did end up publishing their book as well, and doing their thing with that as well. So it was a little bit of both. But yeah, even, I mean, it's so much when you're putting, and I mean, for all of you that, everybody in here knows to some level, like when you're putting your creativity, your work, or you're putting something out there that represents you or tells a little bit more about you than maybe you would even tell, in a way, it's scary. Or it's like, do I even know what I'm doing? Is this even good? And so you start questioning a lot, and you want to just pull it back and be like, you know what, I'll take it back. I won't give it. Mm-hmm. And, but something is like, no, there's somebody that's going to connect. If I connect with one person, two people, there's a connection and it makes a difference. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've learned over time. And that's kind of how that quote and everything came to be there too, because it's like, listen, it could be one person. If you affect one person, you're still making a huge difference in this world.
Yeah, that's right.
Positively affecting y'all. Negatively affecting too, but we don't do that.
Well, so when you go through the chapters, each chapter is named after a person, and it's also named, it's also talks about the tea and about the lesson. And so I immediately started looking to see if my name was in the book.
I don't think I did a Sandy
I was like,
in
was
there.
there a Sandy? Is there a Sandy? No, but there was a Jean. That's my middle name. I was close, but I was like,
Same here.
but then there was a really all right.
Geneva. That's
See?
Geneva. Yeah.
There you go. So, but then there's a story in here that resonated with me, and a lot of them did resonate with me. I think when you get to a point in life, there's a lot of things that you experience. You're like, yeah, I was scared about that, or yeah, I didn't want to talk about that, or oh yeah, I do have goals, or I did have dreams, and they have changed, and I have pivoted, and that's all addressed in here. That there was this one story in here where you talked about Aaron in a car accident, right?
Aaron? No, I was kidding. This was inspired by Dre. Dre was in a car accident. Yeah.
Okay, well, I was in a car accident, and I know some other people that have been in car accidents, and maybe they've just had these big. So, of course, I resonated with this one. And one of the things that is interesting about this story, and that was the takeaway that I had, is that when you come out on the other side of something so scary that really, like, one split second change could have cost you your life, you start to think about everything differently. Mm-hmm. And there's this big shift. And so the story talks about that. He says, "They kept calling me lucky," Aaron said, tapping a finger against the table, "like I should be grateful. And I mean, I am." He exhaled through his nose. "But it wasn't luck that stuck with me. It was the reminder of how fragile it all is, how one moment can change everything." The barista nodded slowly. "So naturally, you spent months spiraling in existential dread." Aaron let out a short laugh, shaking his head. "Yeah, pretty much. And now," he hesitated, then smiled, "now I just laugh at it." The barista raised an eyebrow. "At the accident?" He goes, "No, at the soup." He said, "I had my arm in a cast trying to eat soup one night, spilled half of it all over myself. I looked ridiculous, just this grown man covered in soup that I lost it. I started laughing and I couldn't stop." He shook his head, amused at his memory, and he said, "And I realized the whole time I'd been gripping onto fear so tightly that I forgot how to live." And I laughed because after the accident happened with me, I was so like kind of out of it that I ordered like 5 dozen bananas and like 6 dozen eggs. And they came to the house and everyone was like, "What? Why did you do that?" Like, what? I was like, I don't know how I did that. But it's like the soup. And it just becomes this moment where you can laugh at yourself and you're like, this is just a thing I lived through. And now I'm on the other side of that. And now I'm just going to live my life authentically or in this authenticity. And so, I felt like this story resonated with me, and it resonated I'm sure it resonates with a lot of people in the room. It doesn't have to be an accident. It could just be a pivotal moment that changes things with you. And so how do you want people to use this book? Because for me, I was like, oh, okay, this does resonate with me. Now let me think about this. And let me go back to that moment and laugh at myself and enjoy the things that have happened now. But how do you want people to use
just like
the book?
you said it? Just like you said it. I mean, it is, it's about being open. It's about being flexible. It's about recognizing gratitude. I mean, we talk about gratitude oftentimes and how just even saying what you're grateful for, how that can start to cover up some of the negativity and things that are happening. But I mean, we all go through hardships. We all face challenges, loss, grief, and, life hits us hard, and it's hitting a lot of us hard right now. Mm-hmm. But to just, think about your blessings and think about the gratefulness in the world around you and the positivity, nature, the beauty, like just connecting yourself with God or your higher power and making sure that, there's so much more out there than, what you might be going through at that moment. And still allowing yourself that space that you need to cry, to grieve and do those things, but also knowing there's positivity, there's good on the other side. There's good, and there was good in the forefront. I'm sure there's going to be good coming afterwards. And so this book is just a reminder that life hits hard because, like Sandy said, there's loss, there's aging, I try to cover a whole gamut of things that hit us, but there's always something to learn from it. There's something to be grateful for from it. I mean, every struggle I've had when I've lost jobs, when I, lost when I, was pregnant and thought I was going to have a baby and that didn't work. Like, we found the positivity on the other side of that. Mm-hmm. And that's what you just have to do. Mm-hmm. And so that's what this book is encouraging you to do, and hopefully giving you a tool or something to connect with if you need that, when you need to do that.
I always say, there's always a time when a door will be closed for you, but it's important to be able to go looking for another door rather than just standing in front of this locked door. And that sounds like what you're saying.
Yeah.
To be able to pivot, go find another, thing
Yeah.
or another way to look at it, another perspective.
Mhm.
So this one's a little bit darker of a story.
Okay.
Then this one's called The Pause Between Sips. It's sip 17 with Serena. And I guess she's sort of with her dad and she's sort of causing
Hold on 1
commotion.
second. Perry, can you get her a chair for me, please? Can you grab her a chair for me? It's a chair. Okay, go ahead.
And so she's with her dad, and so I guess she's causing a commotion. And she's throwing a tantrum. And after she says her father stepped out, his face unreadable. He didn't scold, he didn't yell. He simply got out of the truck and called her inside the house. She hesitated, her little heart still pounding with protest, but she went. The executioner is waiting. A slight stained wooden paddle with a handle, a relic from another time, its surface worn with the names of her brothers and cousins, etched reminders of past warnings. She had never been on the receiving end of it until now.
Mm-hmm.
A few taps.
I was so mad.
A few taps, just 2 or 3, barely enough to sting, but that wasn't what hurt. It was the fact that he had never done it before. And this was the moment he'd chosen. This was how he had responded to her waiting to be included. The tantrum stopped, and so did her words. For 2 weeks, she barely spoke to him, first out of defiance, but then out of something deeper, a piece she didn't yet have the words to name. In the silence, she discovered something new. At first, it was the absence of words. Then it became a space, a place where she could sit with her emotions, turn them over in her mind, let them settle without pressure to explain or be understood, a quiet place that was hers alone. It was the first time she learned that silence wasn't just absence, it was power. Mm-hmm. The soft clatter of a saucer brought her back to the present. The barista refilled her cup and placed a folded napkin beside it, a silent offering, and she unfolded it. And it said, "Some lessons only reveal themselves in silence." I read that story and I thought about a lot of things that happened when I was younger that have impacted who I am now. And I don't know if you guys are all on this journey, but sometimes when we get older, we really do take a look back and go, this is how I'm showing up and this is why I'm showing up this way. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was really brave of you to share a story like this, though, like everyone's thinking, hey, we're sipping tea and it's like everything's jolly. And then no, hit the brakes. This really is another part of life. Yeah. Did you write this story because you too are reflecting on some things that happened in the past and how you're showing up in the present?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that story, if you kind of know me for a while or even been in my coaching space, you hear me talk about retreat within. And I termed that over time because I wasn't sure how to define when I would get into a quiet space and be in a space where I wanted to be around people, but I didn't necessarily want to talk. I didn't want to, I would just kind of be very observant. I would pull back and just try to, I would just be in this intrinsic phase. I'm just here, and they were like, Christina, you're quiet, or people would say I was weird. Some of my roommates in college, because I would get into that little space. And so through reflecting, I was like, why do I do that? Where did that, where did that come from? Or what is this about? And how can I use this space to empower myself, to grow through it and not just be in it? And I thought back. So some of these stories, when I do my reflecting, I think back to childhood as well. And through that, I thought about that with my, with the executioner, which is a real wooden paddle that my dad would use as a discipline method, but it mostly got used on the boys. And so when he tapped me with it, and it wasn't just the tapping, it was writing my name, because now you didn't lay this in history that Christina got a spanking. And so, I went quiet. I was like, other than good morning, hello, how was school? Good, keep it moving. I had nothing for 2 weeks. And I was just in my head like, why would he do that? And why would he put my name? I just wanted to go with him and my brother. I just wanted to hang out. So I was really hurt. And it was a time that I just went in, and I think I did a lot of journaling or my diary. And I wrote a lot in that, and I processed. And so as I got older, I kept going back into that quiet space. And as I got older, I started to figure, I'm like, what is that? Because even, Dre would have to, he had to navigate it when we first started dating. Like, wait a minute, what's this quiet space that you're in now? Did I do something? And I'm like, no, it's not you. I'm just kind of I need to pull back. I need to observe. I need to regroup. I need to figure out. And that's kind of where that came from.
No, I think it's a good lesson to everyone about, like, we've all been through some stuff, and maybe what you see on the outside of how someone shows up is based on their journey and about things that happened in their past and how they're coached into like approaching their feelings or how they express themselves. And I thought this is a really open and honest like perspective of your life or of a story or someone's life. There was another story in here where you talk about hair. And I know that like I think that hair is one of those stories that like you can talk about like racial identity in hair. You can talk about age in hair. You can talk about how people associate hair with wealth or with not having wealth. And so I thought that was too another very honest and open look. And I also felt connected to your hair moment. 2 years ago, I decided to stop dyeing my hair, and it has been a journey because there are people, and I hate to say it, mostly women, who say your hair makes you look so much older, and you're like, thanks. Thank you. I was going for that mature look. But I do think about like now my son has he's 15 and he has beautiful curly hair, like ringlets, and he is purposely straightening it and flat ironing it, and I'm watching it like burning, and he's putting all these chemicals in it to like make it so straight, and it's his look. Okay, we'll just say it's his look, and I'm trying not to be judgmental about it. Like, why are you doing this to your beautiful hair? But I remember too, like when my hair was curly, I wanted it to be straight. When it was brown, I wanted it to be blonde. And now that it's gray, I wish it was brown. But like, okay. So do you want to talk to me about the hair journey in this story?
Yeah. So, early on, my mom made the decision to start relaxing my hair. And so, that was just kind of the next step. You get older, your hair starts feeling a little coarser, maybe feels a little more difficult to do. And so it's like, we just got to relax it. But I was starting to have like burns and sores and things in my hair. My hair was starting to fall out over time. And so then it was like, okay, we got to figure out something. So then as the Jerry curl was phasing out, here I came. She took me to the salon. I had this picture of Halle Berry, she had her little short curls, and I was like, yes, that's how it's going to look. No. The Jerry curl tightened them little curls. So she took me to Oklahoma City and put me in this chair, and they put this curl product in my hair. And it takes a lot. Activator, you got to activate. You got to put the little thing over your head at night so it don't drip. There's a lot. Okay. And I have pictures of my little boy cut with my little curl, my little tight curls. And so then she went that route thinking that would help. Like, okay, it's going to help kind of naturalize your hair again, help your scalp and everything like that. Then my brother set my hair on fire. That's in the story. That's a true story. My hair did. One of my brothers, he was very experimental, and he loved experimenting with products and things like that. And so he was like, oh, will this and this do this? And it did. And so after that, not getting him in trouble, doing my best to not get him in trouble, I was able to talk my mom out of, please get me out of this Jerry curl. It's dangerous. So then we reverted back to the perm, back to relaxers. And the funny thing is, even with relaxers, for some of y'all, I don't know if you know what straw sets are, but I would take real straws, you clip them in half and you wrap your hair. And it was a whole process, and hours long, sitting under the dryer with straws in your hair, trying to get this curly look, right?
How do you do this to ourselves? Why?
Did all of that. And then after a while, actually around the time moving out here, and my hairstylist over there, Miss Tammy, She's been with me for well over 20 years now, too, since I've been here. We started on my natural hair journey. I was like, Tammy, I think I'm done with relaxers. I'm done with products. I don't know what's under here. I don't know what's going to naturally come out of my scalp. I would hear people say, oh, your root feels curly, like you have curls, but I didn't know about them. And so here I am putting straws in my head. When my hair was naturally already straw curled, I just needed to get it there. So, it took some time, and teaching and being around students, it took some criticism, but we got there. Because they're going to tell you what you look like. Miss Owens, don't you want to straighten your hair? I like it when it was straight. But we got there. And so through that journey, it was like going through the, finding natural products, transitioning. And she helped me really, we had to cut off some of the relaxer, let some grow, cut some off. Do we go full chop? Making all those decisions, and then connecting with natural products to really this is the hair I was born with. And it's healthy. My scalp isn't burning. I don't have sores, and, maybe cancer risks are elevated when you're putting all them products in. Y'all, my hair was on fire. I would be like, Mama, wash it out. It can't, come on, you're setting me on fire. So it was a journey. When I talk about my hair journey, trust. And so that was a part of my development, and just, so that's how all that poured into that set.
Well, I love it because, again, like I said, I feel that a lot of people can relate to those things. I mean, men and women, right? Men, you grow up, you have all this hair, and then you get older, and some of our men lose their hair, and then their identity shifts. So I'm bald now. What do I do? Or you see them start combing it over in all these new ways. You're like, I don't think your hair's supposed to comb that way. And then for, like I said, with my own journey, especially growing out the gray where you had this hard line, and I was like, I don't want that prison hair, where it looks like I just got out of prison and I got kind of died. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole journey. And I think then at the end of the day, you get to this point, you're like, I just need to relax. I just need to let it be. Why am I stressing over something that I can't control, or that I shouldn't be trying to control? Yeah. And if that's not a lesson for life, I don't know what it is, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
You just get to a point where I just got to let it go. But she says in the story, Aria, she says, it's been a journey, but I'm finally learning how to have fun with them, meaning her curls. And she really is trying to breathe into that and relax into it. So remember I said in the back of after you read the story, there's a little journaling area. And this one I really liked because it's a meditation prompt. And it said, place one hand over your heart, breathe into that space, and ask yourself, where can I release just a little more? So whether it's my hair, what can I just let breathe and relax? Yeah. Right? Sure. I loved that one. I was like, I could be writing all day, right? That was a good one. Yes. There's one more story, and then I'll let you guys ask questions because I wanted to talk about this because I felt like a lot of people could identify with. So a lot of stories are told from a female perspective. Some are from a male perspective. This one is two people, Charlotte and Sterling, and they own a house. And they have this dream house. They built it. It's huge. They're really at this place where they're we have this big backyard, and it's almost, so what I say, sometimes you own so much that the things you own start to own you. So if you own a big house and it's just two of you, you're coming home on the weekends and doing yard work, and you're, taking care of the exterior and the interior. And now we have to clean the house before the cleaning lady comes. And what I'm talking. So that's the story of Charlotte and Sterling, and that life is unfolding in all of these different ways. And they're just deciding whether or not they can let go of this house. And really, what does it mean to others if they let go of the house? Is the house the symbol of my success? Yep. And I think we can all kind of relate to that. We all have these things that we buy or we award ourselves with, and it is the trophy for our hard work. And so sometimes I have to remind myself that when I look at my house and I go, I need a new house, I need a bigger house. Really, it just means I have too much stuff, right? Because there's people in New York who live in 500 square feet, right? And they're raising kids in that. So if I have a house that's 2,000 square feet and I can't make it work, maybe I need to look at my stuff. All right. So Charlotte says, Home wasn't about square footage. It was about intention. She turned to Sterling, a sense of clarity washing over her. We thought we needed the big wedding to prove something. Turns out all we needed was what felt right. Maybe the house isn't so different. She nodded, the weight lifting. So maybe it's time we stop holding on to the house that we thought we needed and start choosing the home that feels like us. And Sterling lifted his cup in a small toast to vows we make to ourselves. And then she said, and living them every day. And so I thought, that if that's not true about life, right, that we are walking in these paths, checking boxes, like it's time for me to get married, it's time for me to have children, it's time for me to have the big house. There's so much truth in this one story, right?
Mm-hmm.
About like what is really the most important thing. And like clearly Sterling and I'm sorry, I forgot her name. Charlotte, sorry, I think that they have each other, right? So like that's really what the most important thing is. I think sometimes we forget about that. So the prompt on this one says, what's quietly true for you, even if you haven't said it out loud yet? Mm-hmm. So I challenge you all with that one, right? What's that one thing that you haven't said to yourself that you're like, you know what, I'm hanging on to this thing and I'm making my life a little bit more difficult. If I could just let it go, things would relax. Was that also a true story, or have you had that story many times?
I mean, with our wedding, it was this big lavish plan, and it was like, do we really, like, is this really us, and this is really how we want to share our vows and transition into married life. We want to celebrate with everyone. We want to do, but we figured, and we were like, financially, we want to go to Italy. So we want to experience this together, right. And at this point we had lived out in Virginia for some time. We were like, we were planning to host this big lavish thing and have these family members out, but we were like, well, who actually has come out to visit us without the big celebration, without the, and we understand not everybody's able, and taking that into account as well, different levels of availability. But, we were like, yeah, let's slim that down. So for us, that's that story, the wedding piece that's tied into that SIP is very, very true. We went from, I don't know, lots of guests to down to 10.
Yeah.
10 on a boat.
She said I wasn't. In spirit. You were right.
Yeah. Even one of the besties didn't make it on. But no, I mean, but that, it was an authentic decision. And we found other ways to celebrate, of course, and bring in our community, our family, our friends and family. Mm-hmm. We found other ways to celebrate with them that wouldn't, cost the gamut. Because, I think at that point, and we were a little older, crossing into our 30s. So you're a little wiser when it comes, especially financially. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, is this really where we want to spend our money, or do we want to put it here? Yeah. And so that, and the same thing with the housing and everything when we were shopping, that was a part of our discussion. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so.
Well, I think a lot of people do buy houses and they're like, I have a guest room now. And then they're like, you maybe have the bed. You're like, no, that can't be your gym or your office. That has to be the guest room. And like, who's coming?
Right.
How many guests are we having? Why do we have this 4-bedroom house? No guests. But I mean, it really is just, I feel like it's also like an example of, like I said, like a fortune cookie for life, that like we hang on to these things and we're like, why am I doing this? Yeah. And it's good to be able to reflect and push back and say, you know what, what more could open up to me if I'm willing to let this go? And to stop thinking about what other people think the standard should be, right? Like, is it bad if I rent a house instead of owning the house? Like, is it bad if I have someone come fix the toilet when the toilet breaks as opposed to having to hire someone when it breaks? Like, what are the trade-offs? Yeah. There could be a whole lot better things on the other side. So I appreciated that one too. I thought it was great. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? I thought I'd open it up and let you guys ask some questions about the story. Yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm wondering if you could tell us how long it took you from inception of the idea to now. What did this take?
Yeah. Yeah, it was about, I would calculate about a 3-year span. Just from like authenticity started to enter my world. I started to use it. I was like, oh, I'm the authenticity barista. I'm a coach. It was kind of going through my coaching chapter of I'm coaching and I want to bring people back into their authentic selves. And, we'll have tea and I'll share a special tea with them when I was sharing human design and doing those different levels of coaching. That all kind of started to like cook at that time. And that was beyond 3 years. The book and the concept and everything like that, like I said, it's kind of started to take form 3 years, but then it like really started to take off probably a year from that third year. So 2 years where the dream came. And when the dream comes and I wake up and Dre knows, because he's the first one at 3 in the morning, I might wake him up and be like, hey, here's this idea. Because I'm so excited. Like, I'm like so just giddy. Sometimes he wake up too late and I need you up now so I can share this. But no. And so around, when that dream came and it was like, you're in a cafe, you're having these conversations. Because it was like, I want to tell my story, but I want to be like, and this is Christina's story. How can I do it creatively? How can I pull in like a fictional piece to it and everything? And so that vision, like if I was to open up a physical cafe and the dream cafe, like you notice there's no money exchanges in here. You just come in, you have tea, you get some little nuggets. It's community. It's, it's reflection, it's growth. Y'all, there's a comedy show in here. There's things that you typically wouldn't see, but this is how I envision if I was a tea shop owner. I'd probably do some of these things. And one day I might be. And maybe that's my next thing. I don't know.
Well, I think that's right. I mean, if you have a space where a lot of people can gather, you have this natural community and you have a natural exchange of stories and things that are relatable that we can all like kind of bond over. And I think you've captured that really well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do we have any other questions?
Over here.
Yes.
So you got it down to 38 stories.
36.
Were there stories that did not make the cut, and are there more stories that could be part of the part 2 book?
There are stories that did not make the cut. There are some that I might have been able to wrap into some of the current ones. So could there be an expansion? I thought about a holiday edition or something. So like there could be, but again, I would have to feel it. And right now I don't feel that motivation, but I haven't started anything, but they're sitting there. Yeah. Yes.
What's your next step? So you wrote the book. The book is here.
It's here.
We are so excited for you.
Thank you.
Book. But do you see the next step of Christina's evolution? What does that look like?
Ooh, if y'all know me, I cannot tell you because I'll tell you and then I'll go another direction.
She goes, yep.
But no, I will say, even with this book, I've wanted it to enter naturally and be like a genuine acceptance. Like I didn't push it and pull like, hey guys, I'm writing a book. Can you, will you show this book? Will you display this? Like it literally, everything happened naturally. I was telling people my book's going to be in local bookstores. I hadn't told anybody in a local bookstore I have a book. But a weekend I was in a bookstore just talking and she was like, I want to sell your book. Mm-hmm. So after that, it was in a bookstore. And I'm like, well, now I can literally say it is in a bookstore. And it's, coming into more. But those are all like natural, genuine conversations that, are just happening. And this is exactly how I wanted this book to enter the world and kind of, be in your hands and be in the hands of those that really want it. Like I'm actually interested in this. I want this. So there's that. I do have some invitations and everything to come share the book. I'll be at the first Raleigh Tea Festival. I'll be in Petersburg at the Resist Booksellers next week. I'll be presenting at a historically Black high school reunion back at home in Oklahoma. And then working with Black Women Who Wine. We're coming together to put something together out in Charlottesville. So, there's things in the making. So it comes from that. I also have my newsletter where I share a letter slipped through the pages, which is Another creative way that I like to share my books that I've read, some of the books that I read, where I write a letter from a character in the book. That character could be a place, a thing, or a person. So it kind of just, I don't tell you the book and what the, like, give you all the, I don't ruin the book for you or anything like that, but I try to give you a way to connect with it. And another way to just be curious and again, connection, curiosity and connection. Yes, ma'am.
How many hours in a day do you have?
I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. So it's one of those. This is my passion project. Writing this book was a passion of mine. Like I said, I felt it. It was not forced. There were not many forced sittings and writings. It was all like just flow. And when I'm in that flow, and that's the same thing with my reading and sharing what I'm reading, it's very flow. And so with that, you make time, you create time. I mean, you find the time, whether it's waking up early, going to bed a little late on the weekends, declining some invitations, like, whatever you have to do or feel like you need to do, because that's fueling. I'm fueling myself when I'm doing this. So some people look at it and be like, girl, are you drained? That looks like a lot of energy. But it's like, this is good energy, because this is giving me everything I'm asking for and needing. So
You have one of the stories about that too, about saying no to certain things and like saying, you know what, I'm going to stay in tonight and I'm going to do this thing. I think that's another story that some of us can relate to, right?
yeah. So yeah. Yes.
I do have a question. So, ever since I've met you, to me, I feel like you're so fearless, right? Anything you say you're going to do, it happens. From the newsletter to the book, everything. What would you say to a person trying to live out their authentic self to the T, like in every area? What would you say to them to encourage them to do it without me?
Yeah. I mean, I would have them check in with themselves of why. Values and why, and what's your reasoning, like looking at it from that perspective. And then, is it enough to keep you moving? Is it enough to keep you going? Is it enough to make you overcome the fear, work through the fear, use the fear as a driving modem? Like, is it enough? And so, there's some things, like if somebody could come to me and give me this idea, and it might sound wonderful to the person beside me, and they're looking at me like, you're stupid if you don't accept that. But I'm like, that's not what fuels me. That's not what's driving me. That's not connected to my why at this time. And so, but for them, but obviously they're interested. So there you go. So yeah, I think it's just connecting back to your why and your values and using those two things to help move you forward.
That's good. Was there one more?
Oh, there was one back there.
Yeah.
Katrina.
Now she can't remember what she's going to ask.
So is there a podcast coming after?
Not for me, not right now.
I mean, I feel like this is very conversational and it trends. So
Yeah, I would love that. If anybody want to have a podcast, Sandy, I'll probably be on Sandy's podcast. We talked about that.
Yeah. You're right. You could see that you could get a group gathering, right? You could probably pick one story and
I
hit it.
just feel like it doesn't work, it's not going for live right now. But in terms
But things. I never say no. I learned to never say never. I learned that the hard way in some ways. There's always a possibility. There's always when the thing comes. But yeah, so right now I'm just, listen, I got my little inward winning author. I didn't win no awards this time, but I am winning from the inside out, y'all. Because this just,
That's it.
yeah.
That's it.
I was curious about your editing process, because when you talk about like your flow state and the writing, that sounds super fun, and I'm glad you got to experience it. But then I'm sure you then have to go back and edit it.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy the editing process as well? And then who else did you rely on to be like, is this crazy? Or
Yeah. There was some impatient moments because you gotta wait.
Yeah.
Once you hand it over. One of my editors is in the room now. Miss Key over here. Yes. She was one of the first editors that went through it with me, and we met up several times and she go back and forth. And so she was very helpful in setting that foundation for the book. And then I also worked with a book coach and editor out of the UK. So her and I would go back and forth on it as well. And then, bringing in community, friends, just community of people that I knew, hey, and can trust in getting that. So, and then of course, Dre was a huge part on the design and the interior designing of it and helping me pull all that together. So all those pieces, I wouldn't say it was crazy. The stress, like I said, the stressfulness for me was just the patience, like waiting, like, okay, I want to move this a little, but also realizing they had other things going on as well. And my book, they weren't sitting there waiting like, okay, Christina's going to send me this, I wasn't paying them like that. So it wasn't too strenuous of a process, but definitely had its moments. Yeah.
I think one important thing about that too is after you wrote it and it sat for a while, you reread it and you said it still resonates with me. I still feel good about this.
I did.
Even after months, even after all of that, and that always sat with me because you can write something down and go back and be like, what was I thinking? What was I talking about? But you felt good about the book and rereading it, and I think that was very important and very powerful.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. There were times I wanted to give up. Oh, sorry. There were times I wanted to, we talked about fear and wanting to just bring it back. Yeah. And there were even when the book was done, and I was like, this ain't gone. And I would read it again. I'm like, but this is actually kind of good, Christina.
You write something that is really good.
And I was talking to one of my author friends who wrote several books and is a bestseller out there. She doesn't read her books. She's like, you're still reading your own book? And I'm like, girl, my book is good.
If you write, you know what that is.
Listen, y'all, I read my book this morning. Let me tell y'all,
you're like, I'm the best writer ever.
That's exactly right.
That's good.
There was a question.
Yes. So what can we do to help you make this more successful?
Oh, thank you. How can I support you? My favorite coaching word. No, buy a gift. You can gift it. These are giftable. Yes, comes with a custom tee and everything. But no, also just sharing. You have my website, you have, now you have the book in hand. And as you're reading, if you feel like a story could connect with someone else, share the story. And, not everybody's readers. I get that. Not everybody can sit. Not everybody has the time. But that's why I did short stories. One of the reasons, because it's quick and you can pick it up and you can open it up wherever and just read. It doesn't take a long commitment to get a full story out there. I intentionally didn't do ebooks and audiobooks just yet, because I actually want you to hold this. I want you to feel it. I want you to enjoy it. And don't forget the dual cover, because this is your journal, So this belongs to you or whomever you gift it to as well. And so if you know me, I want to create an experience for people. It's a connection. It's not just me handing over a product. It's handing over something with love and a lot of me being poured into this, and you all pouring into me. Everybody that's here, I promise you, everybody here in this space today has poured into me in so many ways, and that's what made this book possible today. So thank y'all.
That's great. All right, before we wrap up, I wanted to read this last part of the book. So there's this last page that is actually dedicated to the reader at the very end of the book. And so it says, for you, dear reader, every cup of tea tells a story, just as every life holds moments of transformation waiting to be steeped in reflection. Perhaps as you've read these stories, you've seen glimpses of your own challenges faced, lessons learned, joys rediscovered, the experiences that have shaped you, the moments that have tested you, and the quiet joys that have warmed you. Each of them matters. And just as every tea blend is unique, so too is the path that you are walking. So I leave you with this. Keep asking questions. Keep embracing new flavors. Keep showing up for yourself. And if you ever need a moment to pause, to reflect, to sip slowly and listen to the wisdom that stirs within you, you will always find a cup of authenticity waiting for you at the Authenticity Cafe. From my cup to yours, the Authenticity Barista. So let's cheers to
Well, thank you all for joining me today. Like I said, I'm not going to get all teary-eyed and stuff, but like just you being here in this space with me and sharing this moment with me means so much. Please sign my book. I want you to sign my book, and so I can have those words and just carry this experience in this moment with me forward. And remember, there's some tea, there's food, there's custom tea blending still happening. So please, if you haven't blended your own custom tea, take that back there. But everyone here has walked and moved through some chapter in my life and has just poured into me. I can't say it enough. You poured into me, which poured into this book, and I'm now pouring it out and giving you a sip of tea. 38 sips, that is. So enjoy. And yes, we have a few minutes. So yes, do still, like I said, make some custom tea if you haven't. Grab some snacks. Come mingle. And thank y'all.
Yeah.
I love y'all.
make some tea.
Make some tea. It should, because I